We will call the Facilities Committee meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. And we will go to item 2, roll call.
Stephanie Olson,
Here.
David Pombo,
Here.
Jason Dixon,
Here.
Thorsten Harrison,
Here.
Ratan Kanthala,
Absent.
Siri Balajapali.
Here.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Oh. We will move on to item 3, receiving of public comments. Anybody here wish to make a public comment? No? Okay. Seeing no public comments, we will move on to item 4, facility use update. Item A is the facility use minutes, which are available for review. Are there any corrections or concerns about the minutes from anyone? Seeing none, we'll move on to item B, finance report. Staff report, please.
So, let me get to the right page here. There's a couple of things on there that I want to make sure that we're all aware of. So our working balance is $448,829. There are a couple of outstanding items on here. One for Lammersville for $26,000. And we have an agenda item that is a field quote that is a little different than the amount of money that's there for Lammersville. So when we come to the item, I'll be talking about that item. It's been on there for about 5 years. So it'll be great to clean that off of our books.
Okay.
So that'll be cleaned off our books, and then we'll have a couple other items on there. But like I said, we're at $448,829.
Okay. Any questions or comments by the committee? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to item C, facility usage reports from 4/23/25 through 10/24/25. Staff report, please.
Okay, so looking at the first hourly usage report, you can see there that typically after school is our biggest time, the 5 through 7 or 8 p.m. where it starts to fall off. The spike there from 12 to 1 is typically weekend usage. And if we go down to Altamont, you can see it's divided into the colors there, which tiers are using it. Our Tier 1 LUSD organizations and other nonprofits, they're using the track and soccer fields the most, and the multi-purpose rooms getting the most use. Bethany looks the same way there. The multi-purpose room is our biggest used area, being used by our groups the most. Cortez, it's pretty even all the way across what's getting used there. Again, the NPR and the soccer fields this time of year have the most use there. Most of that going to our organization. Costa, they're using the softball field and then the multi-purpose room. I know they're still doing some work on the other fields at Costa, so that might be some of the reason why there's not a lot of use there. And then Hanson, again, multi-purpose room. It's pretty evenly divided between the LUSD organizations and other youth groups in the area. And then the fields outside are being used as well there. Lammersville Elementary, it's very little use on the fields. Right now they're redoing those areas for the construction and sewage construction they just had. So there's not a lot of use at the moment until they get that fixed. But the multi-purpose room is being used again by our groups the most, and then the other youth groups. Cuesta, the fields all pretty much even there, and again the multi-purpose room. Wickland, the same there, fields and multi-purpose room. And then the high school is obviously our biggest used facility. The majority of that going to our groups at LUSD, and then the other youth groups in the area. Let's see, where's that? Yeah, the multi-purpose room, not so much at the moment, but the gyms, you can see the large gym and the small gym, those are the biggest areas, and then the learning areas as well for all the extra learning curriculars.
If I could comment on this, so there was an ask to get a new visual So Jen took the regular flow chart and then made a Excel doc so that you can see the use for the high school a little better. So
Yeah, thank you. That's very nice.
And yeah, and that kind of breaks it down a little bit better with numbers that we can see to see what's being used the most.
Any comments or questions by the committee? Seeing none. Move on to item D, denied applications, staff report.
So we had 2 denied applications. One was rejected per the site principal. They just need to resubmit for a different site, the one that they wanted to use. And then one was rejected due to no custodial coverage. So they just need to resubmit for a different date.
Okay. Any questions about those? Seeing none. Item E, reimbursements to organizations, staff report.
So the only reimbursement we had at this time was one refund for a deposit, $200.
Okay. Great. Then we'll move on to item 5, information and discussion items. Item A, facility improvements, total cost $46,459.57. Staff report.
So on here, we have a couple of items. The basketball scoreboard at Lammersville Elementary needed to be replaced and brought up to the same level as the other schools that they have in their NPRs. That's the cost for that scoreboard. And then basketball backboards at Lammersville and Wickland. Dr. Nicholas noticed that we had different backboards at those schools and the other schools. He wanted to bring that up to an equal level to the other schools, a newer backboard. And then the high school needs a couple more soccer goals. They have a full complement of soccer teams now, so they need a couple more soccer goals. And they've also asked, you may recall, we bought some Generac lights for not only practices, but also for like band if they're out on the grass later than the sun going down, which the shorter days it's needed even more. They've asked for a couple more mobile light towers to cover a little more area of the field to the south of the high school. And that is it. That's our request for facilities use fees.
Just out of curiosity, those light towers, are they part of our rental schedule? Are they available for rent for outside?
Our plan is we were going to use them for a while and make sure that we have the capability to get them out there, set them up, and have staff that can do that. And at the last meeting this year, we were going to come forward with a proposal to either do it or not do it, depending on timing. Because if we don't have the staff to move them, they're not trained to move them, set them up, turn them on, that might be a challenge. So we're figuring it out, and I'll report back at our meeting later in the year once we've used them quite a bit and we kind of know the pitfalls. So.
All right, thank you.
I just had a question on the scoreboard for the basketball, the Daktronics. When you say that, just to bring, obviously they have a dated system and they need to be up to date, but is this one like at the level of all the ones we have now, or is it an even improved version of the Daktronics? Do you know?
It's about level where we are with everyone
Okay.
else. Yeah, Lammersville's is wearing out, and it was time to replace it.
Okay, because I know sometimes when you wear out, you get even newer. But in
Right.
the scoreboard business, I'm still waiting for a more user friendly scoreboard to come out.
They are challenging.
They
at
are,
times.
yeah. So okay, that was wishful thinking on my part then. Item B, update on Lammersville Elementary School Fields turf replacement quote not to exceed $29,000. Staff report.
So at the last meeting, I indicated that I was going to come back with a quote for the turf replacement at Lammersville. And then I thought that I'd have to go back to the board because I thought the quote was going to be higher than it is. So the good news is that we have $30,000 put aside to replace the turf at Lammersville. So we knew 5 years ago how much it was going to cost, apparently. And the quote is $29,000. Now, the reason is some of our staff did some of the infrastructure work, some of the sprinkler work. When the new septic was installed, some things had to be moved and repaired, so that was done at that time. Now that that work is finished, we're going to have our grounds company Kachina reseed that whole field out there outside of the behind the classrooms outside of the office area at a cost of $29,000, and we have allotted $30,000. So we don't really need to do anything extra. We'll just make it happen, get it going. It'll be slit seeded like we did at Costa recently. They'll use their slit seed machine, and we won't need soil amendments because the soil out there is a lot better than on the other side of town. So we're in negotiations right now with Kachina to get a start date and a good time to do that.
Excellent. Any questions or comments? They'll be glad to have a redone field, won't they?
Oh, and one other thing, I'm sorry, the backstop, we talked about this years ago. We're going to move the backstop from the southeast corner to the northwest corner coming out. We think it's a better structure, and the upper grades play over there during recess. It's more strategic, and then the littles can play on the grass area right out there, right off of the playground, instead of having a softball field in the way. Okay. So we think strategically it's a lot better placement.
Excellent. Okay.
Was any part of the backstop able to be reused, or was it?
We don't know yet. It was put in a long time ago, and a rumor has it the footings are 4 feet deep.
Oh.
So, but we're gonna see what we can do, and hopefully either cut it down a bit and move it, or start over if we have to. In which case, we may come back here with another request. So,
Thank you.
yep.
Moving on to item C, community member introduction to Siri Balajapalli, term 25-26 through and 26-27. Staff
Welcome.
report? Yeah, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you all for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for serving on this committee. It's great.
Thank you.
Moving on to item D, Costa grass update.
The grass is coming in great. I've been out there. Dr. Nicholas has been out there. The area that we reseeded and, more importantly, put down amendments and soil is doing a lot better. So that field we should be able to remove the fencing very soon, and kids should be able to use it very soon. And then, like we said earlier, then we're going to do the other field, the west field, in the spring after winter. So they did a good job. I think this one will hold and take. So
That's good news.
yeah.
That's good. That's great. Any comments or questions about that? All right. Item E, facilities, use fees, and fee structure. Staff report.
So Jen's going to put up.
Facilities, use fees, and fee structure. I didn't do it.
So that was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
This is the fee structure that we discussed at the last meeting, and I brought it back again for more discussion if need be. I also added to the second page, if you could scroll down, please, Jen, the addition of a large group deposit of $250 for groups over 1,500 people. What Director Dixon found is that we're having to do an extra garbage dump or delivery with these large groups. So we want to put a surcharge of $250 for the large groups, so that if we do have to do an extra garbage dump, they pay the fee. If not, we'll refund the fee.
I think that. I feel like there's like an impersonator behind the wall,
I
like
know.
like just like messing with us or something.
It's really
Yeah.
odd. So I'm just getting see if I can get approval. I think that we could I think it'd be appropriate to put this in the back as an appendix, and in the 26-27 year implement the fees, just so our user groups have plenty of time to review and know what our fee structure changes are.
So they're ready when they.
Yeah, and we'll do a communication campaign. Director Dixon will communicate with all our user groups on multiple occasions. We'll put it in writing. We'll send it out. We'll email it out. We'll do all of that stuff just so everybody knows the changes for the 26-27 school year. If everybody's good with that.
Sounds
Yeah.
reasonable.
So we'll put it in the appendix for the rest of the school year in the user handbook. And then when it goes for approval to the board at the end of every school year, like we do, we'll put it in there as a part of the approval process, the new fee structure, and then go from there. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Awesome.
Moving on to item F, which I think you already covered.
Yeah.
Which is anything else to add to the trash deposits for groups of over 500?
Well, it's supposed to be 1,500. One got left off, and I apologize. So yeah, it's 1,500. No.
Okay. And then item G, handbook amendments. Staff report?
So there's two items here. I'd like to do the number 2 first, which is a sample of the insurance requirements for user groups. Trustee Dixon's had a number of occasions where he's dealt directly with insurance companies to help both our booster groups, ASB groups, and outside groups understand what the expectations are for insurance. So we are going to put in the appendix a sample so that people know exactly what the expectation is, just to help with the process. And we'll start that, right away, and we'll have it in the appendix as a temporary item. But then when the facility handbook gets approved by the board, we'll put it in there permanently as a part of the appendix, as long as everybody's good with that.
Is this new insurance requirements or just to help people understand what the insurance requirements are?
No, it's just to help people understand what the insurance requirements are. There have been a couple changes in the last 2 years for use of bouncy houses and adequate insurance for, extra dangerous items, and bouncy houses have been put into that realm. So our insurance is requiring more named insurance by the groups that use those. And Director Dixon worked with the principals and some of the insurance companies that are used by our booster groups and ASB groups to clarify, get it squared away. But this is just designed to help everybody know and understand what the expectations are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then sign up dates for the user groups. So one of the things that we discussed last time was a change in the process for the sign up groups. We have group 1, group 2, group 3 that can sign up for outside facility use on given dates. Our first group, they get to sign up first, then our second group, second, third, and so on. And what I was tasked with the last time we talked and met was setting up a structure that guarantees that these groups are serving our kids in our community, which was brought up by community members at previous meetings. So Jason and I met this week, and we've talked a couple times about it, and we feel like a good process would be, if you're in the tier 1 group, the group that gets to sign up first, we will set a date by which you have to submit your roster. And your roster has to have 3/4 of the roster with addresses of people that participate in the student activity or child activity. 3/4, 75% have to be in our district. So in Mountain House or in Lammersville. If they are not, or they do not submit a roster or rosters, they automatically go to the second round of sign-ups. That way we're rewarding the people that are serving all of our students, which most of those groups are, but we want to make sure, judging from some of the things that we've heard. His staff will set a date by which they have to turn in their roster. It'll obviously be before the sign-up date, where they can go in and sign up for their field use. They will have opportunity to communicate back with groups if there's problems and, hey, we didn't get it. We'll communicate with them multiple times. But if they don't give it to us by a certain date, they will automatically move to the second round of signups for our fields. We'll require that group to also have rosters. I think the decision that we need to make, though, at 2 and 3 is, are we going to require the same requirements for the people that sign up for fields in round 2? Because the people in round 2 are less than 5 years using our facilities in good standing, right? The round 1s are people 5 years or more in good standing, right? So I think it would behoove us to do the same rule for the round 2, and then round 3, maybe not.
Round
because
3.
we'll push everybody else back to round 3 if they don't have a roster that's 3/4 of the kids in our neighborhood.
That sounds reasonable to me because, I think it would, at that point, we've given ample opportunity for people in the
Right.
community to sign up through round 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because round 2 is people who are 5 years or less.
Correct.
So
In good standing.
in good standing. So
Yeah.
what if I'm a new group in Mountain House? Like, would I be in that tier 2 group?
They're in group 3, correct?
Group 3.
So a new group would be in group 3.
until
Okay.
they've been with so many years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And how many are in group 2 again? It's 10 user groups-ish?
I think so. It's not a lot.
And then group 1 is like 40?
Yes.
So there's about 40 in group 1 and about 10 in group 2, and then a much bigger group in tier 3 right now. Just so you kind of know the logistics of it.
Most of the facilities, after the schools put in theirs, are full almost after that first round.
Yeah.
And so that's where some of the complaint come in. So
Right.
if we're verifying it, then they're
Yeah,
good.
I think that's reasonable, and I think I don't know what else we can really do for the community. I think that's going in a good direction.
Is there any consideration to checking the rosters against our enrollment?
That's what we're going to do.
Oh, so it's not just address verification, it's enrollment.
I would say it's both. I mean, if you live in the Mountain House and you go to another school, I still think it's fair because they live in Mountain House and they're here. I think that we would do both.
My only thought is you see a lot of fraud in address verification.
Yes.
And you might have a team, an organization listing 40 kids at one address
Right.
Yeah.
that's in Mountain House, where if you verify that the kids are enrolled in our schools, then
We've talked about that, and we're going to do the very best we can to verify and monitor. We're hoping people are honest. But the other thing is, if we find people that are dishonest,
They're gonna be.
I think we need to bring them here and make a decision of what we want to do with people that are going to be dishonest with us.
Yeah, I mean, they could potentially lose all privileges. Period. Just
Move them to
done.
the back of the line.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
yeah.
or behind the back of the line.
Yes.
I was wondering, I am aligned with what you're saying, Mr. Conrad. Each student has a student ID in every district. When the public groups submit applications, can we ask them to add their student IDs and their address alongside? It's just one data point, which makes it a little bit easier to track it
Yeah.
back to our schools.
That's a
The
good
school
idea.
name,
That is a good idea.
student name, student ID. It is unique identifier.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
That'll help our process be smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
just take the ID, plug it into the system, it'll pull up the information.
That's right.
We know who it is.
Yep.
So,
All right. Is everybody okay with that process?
Yeah.
And then,
That's a great
so we'll
suggestion.
communicate that as well as we communicate the changes of the fee structure, and we'll implement at the same time. I think that's fair for everybody. So that first go around in August of 26, the new fee structure and the new requirement for rostering will be enacted. And that way we've gone through here, the handbook, it'll be in the handbook officially approved by the board prior to, and we'll have followed all our processes.
I'm just wondering about the third level and not requiring a roster, would that invite out-of-town groups to get into that, saying that they are Mountain House based to get a lower fee?
It could. It could. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know how much extra work it is to verify the rosters, but it might be good just, if it's not extra work, just to do it across the board. Any group that is nonprofit needs to provide a roster.
Including in group 3. I see what you're saying now. Now that I think about it, it's a good point, because like we said, if there's a brand new group in Mountain House, they start off in group 3. But if there's people from all over all the cities coming into rent, they could be bypassed because of that. Like if they're not the quickest one on the draw or something. Yeah.
that's a good point because, some of the groups that came to speak to us last year, one of the individuals said that they come from Tracy to here because our fees are cheaper. And that just kind of sticks with me. There's so many more facilities in Tracy, so, yeah.
Could I recommend that we sort of phase that in so we can, one, figure out a process with like the first groups, the tier 1s, tier 2s, and then as we figure out and smooth that out, then we bring in everybody, because that third group is really large. So that'll be, if we throw it all on there at once, it might be a lot to, I don't know what it looks like.
Of course, in that third group, we would only have to worry about verifying if they are awarded.
If they get a facility,
facilities,
yeah.
Sure.
Is that okay with you? Do 1 and 2 and then phase in 3 as
That
we
would
get
be-
good at it?
That would be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then we'll have a new school on board by that point. However, we don't rent facilities at new schools for the first year. So Palmbo Elementary School will not have any rentals available until a year after the school is open. So, as it states in our handbook. That's all the handbook amendments that I have at this time.
Any further comments or questions? All right, so then we'll move on to item 6, future agenda topics and meeting dates. Item A, future agenda topics. Staff report?
I have one, the additional water fill stations. I think it would be good to give a report on the water fill station completion, where they are with maps, like we did many years ago when I brought forward the maps of where the proposed locations were to be. I can bring a new map and kind of show where we are successful, where we've gotten to at this point. I think that would be good, and I think that'll make Mr. Pombo very happy.
You beat me to the punch. I was going to suggest putting the water fill stations on there just because it's been on there for the past 10 years.
Okay.
Any other future agenda topics that anybody would like us to consider?
Just one question. The water fill stations are great. Is it only on the school sites or is it also in the park areas?
Would you like me to answer?
Yes, please.
We have no control over the parks. The parks are the city. We control the schools. So the water fill stations will only go at the school buildings. The grass areas that have like a standalone water faucet, like at Hanson, or we really don't have capacity to put one in those areas. So they'll really only be attached to a faucet that's on a wall at a school site.
Understood.
So like Wickland, Bethany, Cuesta, Lammersville, and the high school. The rest of the new schools have water fill stations already.
Okay.
So we're kind of backfilling those other schools that don't have them.
Understood. This was more from the school has an attached park, or the school kids go running into along the Bethany Trail. They look for water fill stations. They're very limited. So, okay, good point. I will take
The
to
city,
Yeah.
the city
that. I will
could
go there.
put in a myriad of different things.
Could and should.
Thank you for clarifying.
So any other suggested future agenda topics?
Just for clarification, the fill stations at our campuses on our school buildings are accessible most of them at least are accessible when the schools are closed for people using our outdoor facilities, correct?
Yes, if there is a water fountain that faces the open area, meaning the area that is not fenced and enclosed in the school site, yes, it would be accessible. Not all the schools have that, but some do.
Some do.
Yeah.
I don't have a personal suggestion, but I did get asked a question by a few community members, and I don't even know if it's a facilities question or not, or just a question that I should send them to staff. But they wanted to understand why we don't secure the parking lots at the K-8s, but the high school is often locked with all 3 gates. So it was an interesting question. I didn't know the answer, and
I know the answer. Would
okay.
you like me to give it?
Yes, please.
The high school has 4 entrances. They are generally locked, and then they have a pass-through in the lobby. But they also have vehicles that are parked by students, so they want to keep everything secure, and they don't want people leaving when they shouldn't leave. And then the elementary schools keep it open because now we have single access because this group put in new pass-throughs at multiple schools that make them safer, right? So like at Bethany, now you have to go through a door that's on the exterior of the gates, not on the interior, so they remain locked. Same with Cuesta and the other schools that we did the security work on, like Lammersville. So I think that would be the appropriate answer.
All right, thank you. If we don't have any other future agenda topics, item B, 2025-2026 meeting dates.
We have February 5th and May 7th, and we have March 12th in the on hold in case we need it, in case there's a decision that has to be made that's prompt at that time.
Okay, great. Then we will move on to item 7, adjournment, and we will be adjourned at 7:02 p.m.